Namaste yogis. This is Stephen from YogaWorks. Welcome to your practice. Today's practice is called Keep Your Heart Open. Now physically we'll be opening obviously the front of the chest. Traditionally in yoga, when you hear the term heart openers, it is typically backbends. But I want to go a little bit further in this because obviously the heart has three dimensions. It has a top and bottom, it has sides, and it has a front and a back. So in this class we'll actually expand all the sides of the heart or the rib cage that it is housed in and create like an expansive feeling around the whole circumference of the chest and not just the front. Mentally, it is really easy to keep your heart open when things are going the way that you prefer them to be. When you lie in Shavasana and you come up after an amazing yoga class, it's very easy to feel open-hearted, and that feeling, it doesn't last very long because as soon as you step out there's going to be traffic and people pressing your buttons and work stuff on your to-do list. And this is the real challenge as yogis. How can we keep that open-heartedness into the rest of the day? How can we take it further in all areas of our life? So this is the practice, the mental practice that will underlie this. We're creating new conditions here, and the practice doesn't stop after Shavasana. It actually starts there, because that's when we go out and share this, the benefits of what you have experienced with everybody around you. Even people that might not feel as open-hearted as you possibly are, you might be able to help them. So we'll start with some breath work in which we'll do, I call it 3D breathing, three-dimensional breathing. And we'll pay attention to the flow of the breath from the top to the bottom, from the side to the side, and then from the back to the front. I'll guide you through it. For now, just sit comfortably. You can also sit cross-legged or however you want. Have some nice spaciousness, openness in the torso, nice groundedness through the legs, through the hips. And take just a few deeper breaths at the start of this practice. If you practice Ujjayi breath, that's a great one to keep the chest open. Or just slow and conscious breaths. So the first movement of the breath, so to speak, will be top to bottom. So we breathe in at the top of the nose and feel the breath flow in, down the throat, into the chest, and then further down into the belly. Feel that downward movement. And as you exhale, feel the air leave your body from the bottom out through the top. Inhale, draw the breath all the way down. Exhale, let the breath escape all the way up. Inhale, draw the breath down. Notice that the feeling of breath goes lower than where the lungs actually stop, where the air goes. You might even feel it into the hips, into the pelvic floor. And exhale, let the breath escape through, sometimes it feels like it goes through the top of the head. You're welcome to imagine this. Second movement is the sideways expansion of the rib cage. So just notice as you inhale, the ribs act like an accordion. There's little spaces with connective tissue and muscles in between, which can expand. So the inhale is active, you're broadening the chest, and imagine that broadening sideways here. And on the exhale, just relax. You don't have to do a lot on the exhale because the rib cage will naturally relax and contract. Inhale, feel that sideways expansion underneath the armpits. Exhale, just soften. Two more like this, slow inhale. Exhale, exaggerate the sideways movement and expansion here. One more inhale, go for it, feel yourself getting a little bit broader as you inhale. And exhale, relax. And then the third movement in our 3D breathing is the front to back. The front's quite obvious, you can see the chest and the belly rise as you inhale, but actually we breathe into the back as well, which is a bit more subtle, but how it works is the spine gently lengthens a bit, the curves of the spine get a little bit less pronounced as you inhale, and as you exhale, everything sort of contracts back into place. So can you feel that? Can you breathe into the chest as well as the upper back? And as you exhale, can you feel the whole body just relax? The curves of the spine return to their deeper forms. Inhale, breathe into your back, into the lower back, the middle back, the upper back. Exhale. Inhale, front to back, feel that. The chest, belly go forward, the back straightens out a bit. Exhale, release. You might even feel you're sort of sinking down a tiny bit as you exhale. Inhale, feel yourself get a little bit taller and expand the chest and the belly forward. Exhale, relax your back. One more. Inhale, breathe into the whole back body. Feel your lower back inflate. And exhale. Nice. Try to keep these conscious and deeper breaths throughout the whole practice as best as you can. Of course, it's going to get a little bit harder as we get into a bit more active work later on, but this sets the scene for some good breathing practices in your yoga session. Nice. Bring the elbows together. The elbows, lift them to about shoulder height, and then press the forearms into each other. And then squeeze a little bit, so you'll start to feel the chest and the front of the shoulders switch on. And then keep the elbows touching, but can you separate the hands and the forearms a bit? Just as much as you go. Hold this for a moment, just notice which muscles are doing this. This is quite an active shoulder work exercise. And then close again, open the arms. Cactus arms. Now press the elbows back behind you, let the chest expand. So this is opening for the front of the ribcage. And then bring the right elbow underneath the left. I'm not mirroring you, so it might visually look opposite here. You can stay here, or if you can, the hands can come a bit closer together and maybe the palms can touch. And then lift the elbows a bit. Move the forearms slightly away from your face and feel the space in your upper back as you press the forearms into each other. Back of the shoulders, back of the heart. Equally important as the front, of course. Open into cactus arms again, spread your fingers wide. And then this time, left elbow under the right. Maybe hands come a bit closer together. Wherever they end up, it's fine. Don't worry about little details like that. Or maybe the palms touch, which is also good. And then lift the arms, lift the elbows a bit. And then move the forearms away from your face as you breathe into the back of the rib cage. Feel the shoulder blades sliding apart. And feel the stretch in between the shoulder blades. Right at the back of the heart. And then release that one more time, cactus arms. So now we're opening the heart, but from the front side. The eagle arms was more for the back. And in this class, we're paying attention to the whole circumference. Release that and come into cat pose, which is the one with the rounded back. So just take a moment to press your knees down, press the hands down, and let the belly and the chest lift up towards the sky, the ceiling. You can tuck your chin to the chest, and then if you can, tuck the tailbone a little bit more under so you get a feeling of rounding your lower back as well. It usually doesn't round as much as the upper part of the spine, but see if you can Get a bit of rounding there by engaging your abdominals. And now feel the nice spaciousness across the whole back body. In your cat pose as you take another breath or so. And then I'm just going to walk my knees back a little bit so I have a bit more space in front. Stack your hips above your knees and then walk your hands a big step forward. Nice. Before we lower the chest down, so this is the puppy pose or the heart opening pose, sometimes called. Press your right hand in the middle and place your left hand on top of the right. And then press your fingertips into the mat a little bit. So make it more active and then squeeze your head through the arms if that is available. And then keep pushing your hands down as you start to invite the chest lower towards the mat. This is a great one to get into front of the shoulders, but it's also a great one to get into under the armpits or the side body. Get some really nice space here, which is the size of the heart if you think about it. Keep pressing the hands down as you lengthen the hips back slightly. And then walk the hands closer for another cat pose. So round the back as much as you can. This is the opposite motion, like a counter pose. Press the hands down, push the mat away. Lift the belly, lift the belly, lift the chest. Tuck your chin to your chest and then curl the tailbone under to round your lower back. Round the middle back, round the upper back. It's usually easier to round the upper back. Back to neutral, walk your hands a big step forward again, and then place the right hand in the middle, or whichever one you haven't done on the other side, the left hand on top. Claw the fingertips into the mat, and then squeeze your head through if that's possible. And as you push the hands down, pull the hips a little bit back and allow the chest and the head to come a little bit closer to the mat, maybe touching the mat. A couple of breaths here and allow the breath to do the opening work, the spaciousness work on the inside of your body. So we're creating a shape in these yoga poses from which we can learn, we can open new parts, and we can create a new experience. And then slowly release, just come into downward facing dog for a moment. Press your hands down, press the legs down, the feet. And then if you like to, you can walk the legs out a few times, always nice in the beginning to settle in, to feel the backs of the legs. And then step your right foot forward, but not too far. So we're staying in quite a short stance here. So get almost like a square or rectangular shape under that leg. And then press your hands on the front knee. And then start to draw the tailbone under, just like we've done in the cat pose. You can round your back, but actually we're mostly looking to round the lower back. Not too much the upper back, that wouldn't help us a lot here. And at the same time, can you press the back knee down, the front foot down, and pull the two towards each other energetically underneath you. And I feel like you're really pressing that left knee down through the mat. And as you move the belly a little bit back, you'll feel a really nice stretch in the front of the left hip, at least I do. That's your set of hip flexor muscles that gets quite tight from periods of sitting or holding stress and tension in the body. So if we're doing this opening work, we need to pay attention to the hips as well as the rib cage. Otherwise, we're not going to go very far later on when we try some fun backbends together. Release that. Place your hands. Just step back to down dog. If you want to move, feel free to move. Or if you want a moment of stillness, then do that. And then step left foot forward, not too far. We're in a short lunge here. You can step the foot a bit back, so it's way further back than the normal longer stance that we practice. And it's just a better way to target the hip flexor muscles here. I'm placing hands on the front knee, I'm pushing down a little bit, but actually the main work is with the right knee pushing down and creating the action of pulling it forward. So it's like the legs want to meet each other in the middle. And then I'm adding one more element, which is drawing the belly a little bit back, tucking the tailbone under, and from that you'll feel the intensity will increase if you do that correctly. Stay in this for a moment. It's not an easy pose, this one. It looks like you're not doing much from a distance until you are here in the arena. So just stay with this for another moment. Pull that right knee forward, really press it down through the mat, as it were. And then slowly release. Hands down, downward facing dog. Inhale, roll forward into plank. And then exhale, just lower onto your belly. Let's go Sphinx pose. Elbows, place them under your shoulders. And lift the heart. Now we're adding something here. You can press the hands down, or another option, clasp your hands together. Whatever works better for you. But then press that down, the hands and the forearms, and pull them towards you. Pull the arms towards you, and of course they're stuck on the mat, so they're not actually moving. But what you'll feel is the chest will broaden forward, and you'll be able to pull the shoulders a little bit back. So it just enlivens this whole pose here. One more deeper breath. And then slowly release, return to down dog. We're still in our warm-up, we're just sort of addressing a couple of commonly tight areas in the body that are going to help us later on to move through the sequence a little bit easier. Step your right foot forward. And then bend the back knee a little bit, but don't place it down. And come into a high lunge. Keep the back knee a little bit bent. And then keep the core quite strong, so you're not arching your back. You're staying quite neutral in the spine if you can. And then again, you can place hands on the front knee and move the belly slightly back. You feel a similar sensation now as we did before, but now that knee is lifted, so it's a bit more steadiness, strength work, balancing work as well. And if you want to add one more element, lift the left arm, drape it over your head, and just lean a little bit to the right. That's it. Nice and simple, but super effective here to target those hip flexors on the left. And now again we get a little side bend, so we're also opening the left side of the rib cage here. And then just reach your arms back, clasp them together, and lift the arms a bit. But actually before you lift the arms, let the hands drop behind the buttocks. And first move the shoulders back, so you're squeezing shoulder blades behind you. It's an important element we often forget here. And then with the shoulder blades squeezing together, maybe you can lift the arms more. And now I'm straightening that back leg a little bit more if there is space for you to do that. So now you can go into back bend and extended spine. Hold for another moment. And lower the hands down, downward facing dog. Well done. Take a moment to reset, to recalibrate your breath, to gather your attention from the four corners of your yoga mat. It tends to scatter around if we don't watch out. And then step the left foot forward. Keep the right knee lifted, but bend that right knee a good amount. And place the hands on the front knee. So now we're not going to back bend yet with the spine, so keep the spine quite neutral. Move the belly back to the spine, engage your abdominals slightly. And lengthen the tailbone down to the mat behind you. Just experience this for a moment. The length in the front of that right hip as you are engaging the legs, of course, to keep your balance here. And then wrap the right arm around the head, just let it rest there, and lean a little bit to the left. So I'm slightly dropping that left shoulder and increasing the space, not just in the hip flexor, but all across the right side body as well. Nice. Release that. Reach your hands back, clasp them together. Remember, first we're drawing the shoulders back, squeezing shoulder blades. Then, if there's still space left, we're lifting the arms. And then, if you like, you could straighten the back leg a little bit more. And just hold this pose for a moment. Really great for chest and front of shoulder opening. And just feel this with an open heart. And then lower the hands down. Step back to downward facing dog. Inhale, shift forward to plank. Exhale, slowly lower down onto your belly. From here, clasp your hands behind your lower back. And then use this to lift up into locust pose. Let's just lift the upper body for now. The head, the chest, the shoulders. So you don't have to go very high. And then from here, roll onto your left side and just keep the arms reaching back. So this is locust pose, but just a different relation to gravity. You'll probably feel a bit more shoulder work and a little bit less back bend work or strength work in the back. And then roll back onto your belly. And let's take it to the second side. Keep your arms clasped. Roll onto your side, lift the hands a little bit away from your back. Another breath or so. And then roll back to center. Back to downward facing dog. Take a moment there to gather your breath and your attention again. And then slowly start to walk your feet forward to the front of the mat. Bend your knees a good amount. Allow your spine to just relax as you forward fold. And then keep that as you start to roll up really slowly. Really slowly. Straightening your spine one little vertebra after the other. Roll the shoulders back a couple of times when you get to the top, and then place hands at the heart. If you have a special dedication or intention for your practice, this is a good time to set that. And remember, our common intention is to keep our heart open no matter what challenge comes our way on this yoga mat. And more importantly, when you finish your yoga practice, inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, slowly fold forward. You can bend your knees here, just hang down. Inhale, stretch the chest forward, push your hands on the shins. Exhale, step the right foot back, lower the right knee down. Inhale, lift your arms for low lunge. Exhale, lower the hands. Downward facing dog, step back. Inhale, shift forward to plank. Exhale, slowly lower down. We're skipping the chaturangas today to focus more on the heart. Inhale, locust pose, turn the palms down so the front of the shoulders stays nice and open. And then hands next to the middle of your chest. Go for a little cobra pose, just mild, 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 mild. Not high at all. Lower back down, shift back, downward facing dog. Just take a slow inhale here. As you exhale, step the right foot forward, lower the left knee down. Inhale, low lunge, lift the arms, lift the heart. Lower the hands, step forward, and fold. Inhale, rise, go all the way up, stretch up through the fingers. Exhale, hands return to the heart. Inhale, all the way up. Exhale, use your belly to draw yourself down. Inhale, strong back muscles as you stretch the chest forward, flat back. Exhale, hands down, the left foot steps back this time. Lower the left knee. Inhale, low lunge, take a moment. Lift the ribcage. Exhale, hands down, downward facing dog. So we're just building a bit of rhythm, a bit of breath cadence. Inhale, shift forward plank. Exhale, lowers you all the way down. Locust pose, reach the hands back, turn the palms down. And followed by cobra pose, hands next to chest, roll shoulders back. Keep it mild, we'll go a little bit higher later. Draw back, downward facing dog. Take an inhale. As you exhale, step left foot forward, lower the right knee down. Inhale, low lunge pose. Exhale, hands down, step forward and fold. Inhale to rise, go all the way up, lift the heart. Exhale, hands back to heart center, mountain pose. We'll do one more round on both sides. Inhale, follow the breath up. Exhale, follow the breath down. Feel your heart moving in space inside the ribcage. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, right foot back, right knee down. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale, just to down dog. Step back. Inhale, shift forward plank. Stay with the same cadence of breath. Exhale, lowers you down. Locust pose, turn the palms down. Exhale, hands next to chest. Inhale, cobra pose. If you like, you can press the hands down a little bit more to go slightly higher, but don't try to straighten the elbows. This is always a bent elbow pose, the cobra. Even if it's a slight bend in your elbows, it's fine. Back to downward facing dog, lift the hips high. Inhale. Exhale, the right foot forward, the left knee down. Inhale, lift the arms, just one breath. Exhale, step forward, Uttanasana, top of the mat. Inhale, rise all the way up, reach through the arms. Exhale, hands return to the heart. From your heart, inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, all the way down. Just follow the breath, keep it simple. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, the left foot steps back, lower your knee. One breath, inhale, low lunge. Exhale to down dog. Inhale, shift forward to plank. We're not moving quickly, but we're moving continuously. Exhale, all the way down. Locust pose, lift everything up. Lengthen your chest forward. Exhale, prepare for cobra pose. Hands further back than the shoulders, just a little bit. Roll the shoulders back. Broaden the heart. Now pull your hands towards your hips. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale here, slow the breath down. Exhale, the left foot forward, the right knee down. Inhale, lift the arms, expand. Exhale, step forward, forward fold. Inhale to rise, reach up. Exhale, hands return to the heart center. Close your eyes. Take a few breaths. Feel the heartbeat under your thumbs. Feel the breath slow down. Feel your temperature nice and warm after a warm-up and the sun salutations, ready to explore a little bit deeper. As from here, bend your knees, touch the fingertips down, and then keep this. Reach your hands back, a bit like a skier going down the mountain. Lengthen your chest forward. Then can you clasp your hands behind you, squeeze shoulder blades together, and use this to lift the arms slightly, but bend your knees a little bit more and let the chest go forward. You can even look forward. Exhale, release that, forward fold. Inhale to flat back. Exhale, you can just go to down dog, or you can do a slow vinyasa in between. To keep moving, it's all up to you. You can put together your own practice, leaving out a bit or adding on a bit. This is the advantage of a vinyasa flow, and also a home practice with online instruction. You have a lot more freedom. From your down dog, step your right foot forward, lower the left knee down, and then come into a low lunge. So now we have a longer stance than we had before, and come into Kali Mudra, which is clasping the hands together except the thumb and the index finger. Lift them up. Now first pay attention to your base. Press the right foot down, press the left knee down, and energetically pull them towards each other a little bit. And then take your mudra, your hands overhead, and lean them a little bit to the right. Just a little bit, you don't have to go very far probably. Keep that left knee grounded and lean away from it. And then back to center. Now look at your thumbs and lean them a little bit further back behind you as the chest lifts and the side body expands. Keep the hips moving forward and down. That's lower the hands down. Downward facing dog, step back. If you want to keep moving, then you can of course add a slow vinyasa. Don't rush. Take a slow inhale. As you exhale, step the left foot forward, lower the right knee down. Coming up for a low lunge, nice long stance. Kali Mudra, the thumb and index finger are pointing away, the other fingers clasp. Lift the arms, but not too high. Just yet, we'll work on that. Now slide the hips forward and down, press the front foot down and the back knee down, pull them a little bit together. And then lean a little bit to the left in a side bend so that we're opening both the chest and the side of the ribcage a little bit in this pose. Couple of breaths here. And then return to the center. As you look up, watch the thumbs lean a little bit back. Lift the heart up. Expand the side body. And keep the hips nice and heavy. One deeper breath here, inhale. Exhale, lower the hands down. Well done. Downward facing dog. You want to keep moving this vinyasa, and there's always child's pose. If you're a little bit new to this, or you just feel a bit low in energy, then just sit back on the heels, make a pillow with your hands, and rest for as long as you need to. You even have a pause button, which you can always use to take a longer break and allow yourself to catch up. No need to struggle ever in a yoga class. In daily life, you can't just avoid some of the challenges like traffic jams and board meetings. You can't press pause or you can't do child's pose, but in yoga you definitely can. So I would recommend to make use of that. There's no need for yoga to ever be stressful. It can be challenging, yes, but it doesn't have to be stressful. Step your right foot in between the hands. Turn the left heel down. Come into warrior two. Take a moment just to find your warrior two. And then feel how the rib cage and the torso is stacked neatly above the hips here. And there's a nice openness in the side body, in the front and the back, the top and the bottom. You are able to expand the heart in all directions. And then from here, I'll be with my back to you, but you'll be able to see it better. But we're doing the same as what you did seated, bringing the elbows and the forearms together and squeezing them into each other a little bit. Feel the chest, the front of the shoulders switch on again, like before. Open cactus arms, feel the shoulders squeeze together behind you. And then bring right elbow under left for eagle arms in warrior two. Press the elbows away from each other and then squeeze the forearms into one another. Slowly release. Release the right elbow to your right thigh. Reach the left arm over the head, side angle. Really great for that side body. The left side of your rib cage in this case. And then just for a moment, hang the left arm on top of the head, relax the hand here, and just let the upper body curve forward and down. And if you have a bit more space here, you can always lower that right hand down, but it's not essential. You can do the same with the elbow on the thigh. Release all the way down. I'm going to do slow vinyasa here with the locust and the cobra. Or if you want, just go straight to down dog or child's pose is always there. Locust, cobra or very nice combination. One is more strengthening. The cobra is definitely a deeper back bend. And the two together just form a nice little flow in between. Downward facing dog is where we'll meet. If you're still in child's pose, then start to get back to down dog when you feel ready. And then step the left foot forward in between the hands. Turn the back heel down, coming to warrior two on the second side. Stretch the arms wide, bend the front knee a good amount. And feel the spaciousness across all the dimensions of the heart. Over the rib cage, of course. You feel both sides, the front and the back, the top and the bottom. Take a deeper breath. Can you get back to that 3D breathing that we practiced in the beginning? Keep that. Bring the elbows together and press them into each other. Squeeze a little bit. And then open the hands away from each other, keeping the elbows touching. Nice. Open into cactus arms again, broaden the chest. And this time left elbow, swing it under the right. And come into eagle arms, Garudasana arms. Squeezing the forearms together will send the stretch straight into the upper back. And keep paying a little bit of attention to your feet, your knees, your hips as your foundation of the pose. Nice, release that. Left elbow to left thigh. Right arm, reach it up and over, side angle pose. Parshva Konasana. But it will modify it a little bit to get a little bit more side bend and opening of the rib cage. So I'm just draping my right arm over the head. Relax the hand, let it just dangle. And allowing the top side of the rib cage, the right side, to just expand here. And if it's available to you, you can always have that hand lower on a block or on the mat. But the main thing is to just allow the top side of the rib cage to expand. Slowly release the hands down. You can go down dog. Or from here, if you want to keep moving, there's always plank, lowering down. Locust pose. Hands down next to chest. Cobra pose. You might feel there's a bit more space for you to explore after all the warm-ups and the preparations we've been doing. Downward facing dog. Also remembering we don't have to change our whole body in a single class. It's not going to be possible. The power of this will come through repetition, from coming back, from paying attention, from working with your body as it is right now. Not as you want it to be in your mind, but really as it is right now. Step your right foot inside the right hand, so a bit to the right. Step the left foot a bit out and then turn the heel down for warrior one. So I have quite a bit of space between the feet, maybe about hip distance, and then I can turn the left hip a bit towards the right knee and face the torso more or less forward. Lift the arms. Bend your front knee a little bit and then really press your back foot into the mat, the outer edge, to be more specific. Now reach the hands back. We've done this before. Clasping hands, drawing shoulder blades together first, maybe lifting the arms. Inhale, lift the chest, maybe look up. On the exhale, slowly lowering the torso towards the right knee. You can stop here. Try not to lie heavily on the knee, or if there's space, you might even go inside the knee a little bit. Let the upper body just hang and really gently pull you down with gravity. And then keep the hands clasped, but start to lift up again. Nice. I'm going to step a little bit closer here so you can still see. And I'm transferring weight onto the right foot until the left foot can lift. So we're doing warrior three. On the right leg. If you feel unstable, just bend the right knee, but straighten the left leg if you can. And then if it's available, straighten the right knee as well. Reach your hands back. Reach your chest forward. One more inhale. Exhale, release the hands down and come into standing splits for a moment. Just lifting the left leg till wherever it goes. Mine is disappointingly low whenever I really look at it, but let's not worry about details like that. That's what I always tell my students. So I need to tell myself as well. And then if you want, you can always do a couple of hops towards handstand here, if that feels like a good idea, or if it's enough intensity just like that, then just step back, downward facing dog. Take a breath or two. Collect your attention to this place, to this moment, this right here. And then step your left foot inside the left hand. Turn the right heel down with the right foot a bit wide, so you've got about hip distance between the feet. Lift up. With the right hip, you're not opening it to the side like warrior two. You're rotating the right hip more to face forward. Doesn't have to be perfect. And when you feel ready, lift the arms. Warrior one. Press the edge of your back foot down and then bend the front knee to get a really good stretch, mainly in the front of the right hip. One more inhale. As you exhale, reach the hands back, clasp them together. One more time. Move the shoulders back, shoulder blades together. Lift the arms, lift the chest. Maybe look up. Inhale. On the exhale, start to fold towards your left knee. If there's space, go a little bit inside it, let the head hang as the arms lift a little bit higher. And don't let the shoulders droop down, lift the shoulders a little bit away from the ground against gravity. And keep the shoulder blades moving together and down the back. And then lift back up, keep the hands clasped together. Start to lean a little bit forward. I'm stepping the left foot back. And go for it. Lean, 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 lean forward. When you feel stable, lift the right leg, straighten the right leg. When you feel more stable, straighten the left leg. Not essential, you can keep that bend. And have a little back bend in the chest, like a locust, with the hands clasped. One more inhale. On the exhale, release the hands down for standing splits. Just a moment here, get into hamstrings, a bit of a counter pose to all the back bends and front body openings we've been doing. And if you want, you can plant the hands down, maybe hop a little bit back, do a couple of hops, and that will be the end of our standing sequence. Couple of hops if you want to. Maybe catch a little moment in your handstand. Child's pose. Sit back on the heels. Make a pillow with the hands. Rest your forehead. Quite an active, challenging standing sequence. Quite a lot of focus, a lot of breath awareness, a lot of strength and stability, and a lot of openness of heart. Your yoga practice, you're always going to hit some wall, some big obstacle in your path, a pose that just doesn't work, a part of your body that just doesn't feel stable or open yet. And all of us experience this in different poses at different moments, of course. But there's no person who doesn't experience a challenge on their yoga mat. That would just mean you're not learning very much. And the trick is not to give up or don't do that pose or never go back to that class, but it's to approach it with an open heart. That pose by itself is not going to change your life significantly, but you showing up for your practice is going to change your life. So that's really the big ticket that we are after here. Slowly start to lift up. Get ready for camel pose. So we're sitting up onto the knees, lifting the torso. And then we'll do 2 rounds. The first one, I'd recommend you tuck your toes under so that your heels are lifted. This is to shorten the distance here. You can see now I can't reach, now I can. So that's going to help you for the first time. If you don't need this, then of course you don't need it. Now we'll come into it a little bit of an unusual way. So first keep the spine quite steady, keep your abs engaged as you lean a little bit back, lean the hips a little bit back, and then with your hands find the inner heels if you can. So the palms are turning out, I'm creating that contact, and now I'm pressing the hips forward again. Now I'm lifting the chest, rolling the shoulders back, and maybe leaning the head back slightly. Take another breath or so, and slowly, don't rush, coming up, and you can untuck the toes and just sit back for a moment. Take a breath or two in between rounds. And in round 2, let's sit up on the knees. You can still tuck the toes under if you feel like you need that little bit higher level for the heels. If you don't need this, then you don't need it. It's fine. So again, keeping the core strong, lengthening the spine, keep you more or less neutral. So we're not in a backbend, spinal backbend yet. I'm leaning back. I'm finding the inner heels. If you can't find them, it means you need to tuck the toes under. Inner heels if you can. Turn the arms out. Press the hips forward. Lift the chest up. Roll the shoulders back. Squeeze the shoulder blades like we've done before. Maybe let the head just follow. You can look forward or lean the head back. Now, first move the hips a little bit back, then straighten the spine, and then sort of bounce back up. Sit back and take a moment. I like to place hands in the middle of the chest just to feel the space we've been working with. Take a few breaths in the space underneath your hands. And remember, when we expand the heart, it's not just the front. It's the most obvious place where we experience the heart. But it's also the back, which often a bit protected into a sort of a turtle shell and into our daily posture behind our computers. And even into the sides. Come to lie on your belly. We'll do a special variation of bow pose. I'll explain to you in a moment, but just hold your ankles or your feet. I usually hold the tops of the feet. And then all we're going to do is just roll to a side at a moment. If you find you can't hold the feet, they're just too far away, or you can only hold one, then I'd recommend just to do the straight arms and legs like we've done in locust pose. And we're going to be rolling on our side, so you can still do that with the arms clasped like we've done in the beginning of this class. If you can hold your feet or your ankles, go for it. Lift up into bow just for a moment. And just feel how easy you can breathe into the belly. And I'm guessing it's actually not very easy at all. I'm usually in quite a rush to get out of this pose. So let's do this. Lower down and roll onto your left side. Just roll onto the left side. If you lost one of the feet, then just find it again behind you. And now do bow pose on your side, kicking your feet into the hands. Opening the chest to the front, moving the shoulder blades together, and you can just rest your head. Wow. Almost like a restorative bow pose, because now, guess what? You can actually breathe into your chest and into the belly, and you're not in a terrible rush to come out. Nice. Roll to the center, and let's go to the right. Roll over onto your right side. The kids also love this pose, nice and playful, and adults should try it too, I think. Move the hips forward, just like our camel pose. This is exactly the same shape, of course, but now we're lying on the sides. Broaden the chest to the front, kick your feet into the hands, and then release back to the middle. You can let go of the feet. Maybe make a pillow with the hands to rest your forehead. And then take a few breaths into your lower back. Nice. From here, roll over onto your belly, onto your back. onto your back. And then place the feet. We're going to get ready for bridge pose. We want the feet quite close to the hips, but not all the way up against it. And then for this, place your feet slightly wider than the hips. Bit of an unusual instruction, but I just feel it feels so much better when you do this. Just to create a bit of space. And then press the feet down and start to lift the hips up a little bit. You can clasp your hands behind lower back. We've done that quite a few times in this session. And then push the feet down, lift the hips up, and you can wiggle your shoulders closer together to really get the chest to lift up. Just experience this for a moment. Squeeze your glutes to let the hips rise up. Don't let the knees splay open too wide. You want to keep them a little bit parallel to each other. And just feel this, the power in the back body, your hamstrings, your glutes, your spinal muscles lift you up. And then slowly let go of the hands, release. And you can just move your feet a bit wider and let the knees drop in to the center. Restorative or constructive rest pose. Take a few breaths. Yes, we'll do one more round, either another bridge pose, or if you feel nice and open, we've prepared quite well for it. You can do Urdhva Dhanurasana, the full wheel pose. I want to stick with bridge today. That's just what I feel is better for me at the moment. And remember, Urdhva Dhanurasana, the full wheel, it's a harder pose, it's more demanding pose. But sometimes the hardest thing is to not do the most intense thing, to not put in even more effort, and to just choose the milder option, because that seems like a better one for you at the moment. Even if everybody else around you is doing another option, that's fine. So go for it, choose bridge pose or wheel pose, similar principles. We're pressing the feet down, we're opening the front body, we're engaging the back body to lift, so the hamstrings, the glutes, engage the glutes to push the hips up. And of course the spinal muscles to lift the belly, lift the heart. Take a deeper breath, and on the exhale, slowly release. You can come back to constructive rest. If you feel the need to draw your knees into your chest immediately after one of these back bends, it probably means you've gone a little bit too far. So next time I would recommend to just go a tiny notch less far into the pose so that you don't feel that need to immediately counter with the opposite pose. From here, keep the knees bent, just place your right ankle on the left knee. And then thread the right arm through the gap between the legs. Hold your left shin or your left thigh, that works better. And then just lie back, relax the head. With the arms, I'm gently pulling that left knee towards me. And with the strength in the right hip, I'm gently pressing the right knee away from me. But keep it mild, this is a relaxing supine hip stretch at the end of a heart opening class. So we don't need to push this too much. Consider it a little dessert. Couple of breaths here to slow down. Turn your attention inwards. All the backbends can have quite an energizing, invigorating effect, which is great. And it's good to slow down afterwards. Gently release. Left ankle, place it on the right knee. Thread the left arm through, hold your right leg wherever. Gently pull it in with the arms. And lightly press the left knee away from you. That's it. Couple of breaths. Can you find a place of stillness? Even though we're still moving. Can you feel the huge space around the chest, around the ribcage, around the upper back that we have cultivated and discovered in this practice? Not that we created anything, this was always there, but we can enhance the capabilities through yoga. Slowly release. I recommend to do a brief spinal twist before Shavasana. I'm just going to drop my knees both to the right. Keep it simple, but if you have another spinal twist that you prefer, then you can always do that. And then second side, whatever you've done on the first side, mirror it to the left. Couple of breaths, not to push harder, but just to unwind. And then return to center, just straighten out the arms and the legs. Let the feet just flop open to the sides. Then move your arms a little bit away from the body, about 45 degrees or so. And then you can lift the upper back for a moment. Wiggle the shoulder blades a bit together so that the chest, the front of the shoulders is nice and open here. And let the head rest back. And take the next few moments to really drop in. Drop your legs down. Relax the arms and the fingers. Let the pelvis and the hips fully rest. And let the spine relax, the belly soften. Feel how the shoulders can rest down on the mat. Let go of a bit more tension in the neck and the shoulders and in your throat. And then soften the face. Can you lie here with an open heart and rest in the space in the center of your ribcage? Keep your awareness there, really lightly as you rest. Slowly, really slowly, start to bring a few deeper breaths. And bring your attention back to the body, resting here. Notice this feeling of effortless connection in the heart, mind, and the body that you have re-established or strengthened. This is why we practice yoga. Start to move your hands, move your feet. And then bend your knees, roll over onto your side. You can go left or right. And then slowly press up to sitting. Place your hands together in front of the chest. So feel that open-heartedness, that feeling of spaciousness and potential that you have cultivated. And now the real work starts, which is to take it off the mat and keep your heart open towards other people, towards any challenges you face, whatever happens. This is the work of us as yogis. Touch your hands to your forehead, to your heart, and bow to yourself on the mat. Thank you so much for practicing. Namaste everyone. Hope to see you again soon. Take good care.